Hi, greetings. It's me, Dr. Paul Gerhardt, and this video is on design thinking and brain leading. And this is really an important concept to grasp because if you think about it, we're all in our brains. And as humans, we're constantly being bombarded with information that helps us be able to evaluate decisions, but it also shapes the way that we see the world. And as you've probably heard other people say, and myself in videos, is we see the world as we are, not necessarily as it is. And that's both a good thing and something to consider because it could lead to making not the best decisions for yourself and other people. And as leaders, we're leaders because we have people who are counting on us to make the best decisions possible. And so we have to be able to understand how the brain works and what our outside influences are doing to make us see the world in a way that may not be helping us make exactly the best decisions possible. So this leadership by design model takes into account who we are as individuals and recognizes that we are constantly growing, and we need to constantly continue to recognize that we have to grow because we don't always know what we don't know. But as people who are growing all the time, and as leaders, we need to find ways to help our people be the best that they can be and have the skills that they need to be successful at their jobs and help the organization continue to grow. So essentially this leadership by design model starts with self. How can I design myself as a leader? We need to recognize that as a leader, we're people who have other people who follow us and that count on us to make quality decisions. So we have to have a clear idea of who we are, how we want people to see ourselves, which is important. And it's related to our relationships. So that's part number 2 is design relationships. As a leader, how can I design my relationships with others? There are famous leaders who are seen as devil's advocates with their colleagues and employees. There are leaders who are seen as friends and supporters of their employees. So really being able to think about, how people see you. I love Dr. Stephen Covey's idea of beginning with the end in mind. If we really truly believe that we have influence over others, we may want to be able to figure out how can we best influence each of those individuals. What does that relationship need to look like in order to cultivate meaningful, positive relationships? And then design other success. As a leader, how can I design success for others? Well, as you can think about, we can't read people's minds, and we don't always know what we don't know. So being able to work with others to be able to help them understand success as they perceive it, it starts with understanding what success looks like for them and then helping them grow as individuals. And then design culture. So as leaders, you have individual teams and then the whole organization as a whole. And that team and organization, it has a culture that will support success or break down success. What are the expectations of people within that organization? And so good leaders start out with the question, as a leader, how can I design the culture of my organization? And related to that is design future. So as a leader, how can I innovate? Organizations constantly need to be changing because if the organization isn't constantly meeting and exceeding the current and future needs of their customer base, then the organization will perish because they'll find other organizations that are meeting and exceeding their expectations. So in the leadership design model, it starts with leadership designing self, designing relationships, designing other success, design culture, and design future. So there are 5 general practices that I will talk about of exemplary leaders. We're going to talk about the dimensions of the brain, and we're going to talk about the dispositional dimension. So let's start off talking about the brain. The brain is lean, the brain is mean, and it's a pattern-making machine. And if we understand how the brain works, just the basics of how the brain works, you know, if you think about a computer, it's constantly analyzing data all day long, and it's keeping us alive, and it's helping us make the best decisions possible. And the brain, like computers, categorizes information, and essentially it uses a 6-dimensional system that I call a tool. So I'll be talking a little more about that, but essentially those 6 dimensions are physiological, emotional, social, constructive, dispositional, and reflective. So let's talk a little bit about physiological. The physiological dimension recognizes that there is a fundamental connection between your brain and your body. So psychological and physical. The emotional dimension influences how individuals see and react to situations and others based on feelings. And then the social dimension focuses on the critical and interdependent role that others play in how you see and react to the world. So social is about all of us. So physiological, emotional, and then social. The reflective, constructive, and dispositional is the reflective is a capacity to examine, modify the information and understanding. You know, we reflect on things, and I think that's one of the most important things as leaders that we can learn is we need to think before making decisions and reacting. Constructive, conceptualizing the world based on what you interact. So we each have an influence on things, and construction is about making a difference. And then dispositional is about the mental habits influencing perception and then creating information. So different dispositions are related to effective thinking. To be broad and adventurous, towards learning, problem solving, and investigating, to build explanations, to make plans and be strategic, to be intellectually careful, to seek and evaluate reasons, and to be metacognitive. And metacognitive really is about thinking about your own thinking. So let's talk about dispositional thinking. Dispositional thinking is also known as dispositional intelligence, or having a dispositional mindset. And that really refers to a person's natural or habitual way of thinking, perceiving, and responding to situations. When it comes to leading, understanding dispositional thinking can be valuable for effectively leading others. And here are some key points that leaders really should know. 1, individual differences. Dispositional thinking recognizes that individuals have different cognitive styles, personality traits, and ways of processing information. Leaders should appreciate and respect these differences, understanding that not everyone thinks or operates in the same way. Adaptive leaders, these are leaders who are aware of dispositional thinking and how thinking can adapt their leadership style to accommodate the diverse thinking preferences and strengths of their team members. This can involve adjusting communication strategies, assigning tasks that align with individuals' thinking styles, and providing support where needed. Cognitive diversity, dispositional thinking highlights the importance of cognitive diversity within teams. You know, the different ways that we think about things. By assembling teams with individuals who have different thinking patterns, leaders can leverage a wider range of perspectives, ideas, and problem-solving approaches, leading to more innovative and comprehensive solutions. Leveraging strengths. Recognizing dispositional thinking can help leaders identify and leverage the unique strengths and talents of their team members by understanding how individuals naturally think and process information. Leaders can assign tasks and responsibilities that align within their strengths, promoting engagement, productivity, and job satisfaction. Building physiological safety. So, leaders who understand dispositional thinking can create an environment of physiological safety. That means fostering a culture where team members feel comfortable expressing their thoughts, ideas, and concerns without fear or judgment of reprisal. Physiological safety encourages open dialogue, collaboration, and the sharing of diverse perspectives. Developing self-awareness. Leaders should be aware of their own dispositional thinking and biases. Self-reflection and self-awareness help leaders understand their own preferred thinking styles and how they might influence their interactions with others. This awareness allows leaders to be more intentional and adaptable in their approach to leading others. Overall, leaders who are knowledgeable about dispositional thinking can effectively navigate and harness the diverse thinking styles and strengths of their team members. By embracing cognitive diversity, adapting their leadership style, and fostering physiological safety, leaders can create an environment that promotes collaboration, innovation, and high-performance team. So, how can we develop brain leading? So, that starts with analyzing the situation and then using the 6 dimensions. Adding on to knowledge about brain and growing your thoughts and habits. You know, there's a way that you may see things now, but that way has got to be adaptable. We've got to continue to grow and want to see how things can progress and how we can make them progress better as a leader. And that really starts by being able to understand how your brain works. So if you wanted to use design thinking in your leadership toolbox, you have to understand problem-solving methodology. This particularly suits to wicked problems, which are unknown sets of potential consequences and ambiguous challenges. Explorative and user-centered to understand. So explorative assumes the purposeful enigma and curiosity, its inquisitiveness, and it has facets that we should be constantly exploring. The term purposeful enigma means something that is intentionally created or presented in a way that is mysterious, ambiguous, and difficult to understand. It suggests that there is a deliberate intent behind the enigmatic culture, often to provoke curiosity, to stimulate thought, or evoke certain emotional responses. A purposeful enigma can be found in various forms such as art, literature, puzzles, or even individuals who intentionally project an air of mystery. The underlying motivation behind creating a purposeful enigma can vary greatly, ranging from artistic expression and intellectual challenging to marketing strategies or fostering a sense of intrigue. In essence, a purposeful enigma is designed to captivate and engage the audience by leaving them with an unanswered question or multiple interpretations, encouraging them to actively participate in unraveling the mystery. So when we're talking about how to develop user-centeredness dispositions, it starts with respecting the perspectives of others and then seeking to discover what that purpose and perspective entails. We have to really consider our feelings, our experience, and other people's feelings, and then explore different ways that we each can adapt. So let's talk about the divergent multidisciplinary. And so this really is about maximizing idea generation and the capability of that, to do something called satisficing, to do divergent thinking, and then ultimately, let's just talk about multidisciplinary thinking. So I mentioned satisficing. Satisficing, if you haven't heard the term, is being able to really find solutions that will suffice. You know, how can we make sure that the people that are involved are satisfied with the solutions that we come up with? Divergent thinking is really all about generating ideas, and you're looking at one specific problem. And then finally, multidisciplinary thinking engages minds and follows different areas depending on different people's expertise. So we also have to consider integrative and iterative in implementation. So integrative enables us to see multiple and competing facets of a relationship, and looking at our own performance as leaders. And then iterative is all about assessing and improving. You know, I love in the United States military, they do something where they call it an after-action review. And it really essentially is being able to look at what went well and what could be done differently in the longer run. And I think that really is a powerful concept, because mistakes are always going to happen. There's always going to be that unknown that emerge. And the more times that we do something, we practice something, the more times we can develop the skills to be able to evaluate what's going to happen next, or what could potentially happen next. And so that's really important. So again, let's finish this off by talking about design thinking. Design thinking really is about problem solving, and it really specifically emphasizes empathy, creativity, and having a user-centered perspective. We need others to help us grow. We don't always know what we don't know. This methodology can be used to tackle complex problems and develop innovative solutions, primarily in the field of design, but in all different areas of business. At its core, design thinking involves understanding and empathizing with the needs and perspectives of end users or stakeholders, defining the problem clearly, generating a wide range of ideas, prototyping and testing potential solutions, and then iterating based on feedback. And it encourages human-centric approaches, focusing on the people who will ultimately use or be affected by the solution. The key stages in design thinking processes usually include, as I mentioned, being able to empathize. Understanding the needs and challenges and aspirations by engaging in research, observation, and interviews. Define, clearly articulate the problem or challenge based on the insights gained during the empathize stage. Formulate a problem statement that guides the rest of the process. And then ideate, the generation of multiple ideas without judgment or constraints, and encouraging creative ideas, brainstorming sessions to explore a wide range of possibilities. And it's really important to remember that if we are not having an open mind and we're shooting down other people's ideas, in this process, we're probably going to limit the number of ideas that come to us that we could use to be able to evaluate, the best course of action. Very often we can create a prototype, which is stage 4, and that is about creating low fidelity representations or models of the potential solutions to bring ideas to life. This could include sketches, mock-ups, or even functional prototypes. Step number 5 is testing, gathering feedback on the prototypes and testing them so that the users could see how they work and evaluate how well solutions address the problem and refine them based on the insights gained. And finally, the final step is iterate. And this is to repeat the process by refining and improving the ideas based on the feedback and insights received. This stage includes multiple cycles of prototyping, testing, and refining until the optimal solution is achieved. Design thinking is not limited to designers. It can be applied to various fields of business, technology, education, healthcare, and social innovation. It encourages collaborative, iterative, and user-centric approaches to problem solving, fostering innovation, and addressing complex challenges effectively. So there you have it. 21 minutes talking about helping us understand about design thinking and brain leading. I hope you found this video helpful, and more than anything else, I hope you have a great day, because only you get to choose how you feel about it. I'm Dr. Paul Gerhardt.